My final verdict is this game ain't bad. Last week we took a little bit of a look at Beavis and Butt-Head. Now that was not a Mutiny episode, so this week Beavis and Butt-Head get to stay in the Mutiny court. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mutiny is on.
One day, mutiny, mutiny, we're the ones that can't control. Mutiny, mutiny, burning loud through the whole front row. Letting the pagan come in the raven. You'll pay your shake, you'll be storming victory. Mutiny, mutiny, we own this.
So a few days ago on the channel, we did a little bit of a playthrough of Beavis and Butt-Head. It's more like last week. And now I want to share my full thoughts on what I think of this game. Beavis and Butt-Head, you're now on trial. You're on Mutiny. Let's take a look. So the story is that they want to get tickets to the Guar concert but don't have money. So there's a contest going where if they take pictures of themselves, I don't remember if it's others or themselves doing stupid things, they could win tickets to the concert. And that's what I believe it's 4 levels in this game are. So the soda cans and the food are your power-ups. They'll give you extra health. You have 1 life bar, and each person has 5 lives. You get your own inventory though. So Beavis could have the gun, while Butthead could have the punching glove. Which, to be fair, that's the best weapon because the punching glove has infinite shots. Does not run out. Why is he on top of the locker throwing basketballs at me? Is that what he's... And the animations here, definitely what you would see on the show. The art style follows the show very well as well. Music, it fits. Very rockish. Something I would hear on the show. Oh, and that almost looks like Bobby Hill. Almost. And the fact that the entire staff hates you is also a show kind of thing too. Same with the kids. I mean, the show never explicitly said that they were hating. This game sure treats it like it. I adore that. I like this. This is a game that I'd sit and play anytime at one point from somebody who was not allowed to watch the show as a kid or have anything to do with it. But now, once your meter runs down, you're dead. Simple. You have 5 chances to get through each level. You have 5 chances to get through the level, I should say. You start off with Highland High, and then I believe you'll go to the mall after that. I have not actually passed this level in this version of the game. Or any version, really. Because believe it or not, the Genesis version is actually harder. More of a puzzle game than an action game like this would. Watch your shots because, like, the spit Wad Gun will run out. If you can get the punching glove, which I know which room it's in, I'll show you. That does not run out. That will help. That'll help, but I would also have a stock of spit Wad shots because that'll basically run the principal, the guy that chases you, who I believe to be the principal, off when you get there. If you don't have weapons, your best bet is to your best bet's gonna be to not do that. If you don't have weapons, your best bet is gonna be just to run. Because like this is like the levels in Home Alone 2 where you're trying to get from point A to point B. And you're basically running or walking, in this case, from A to B. But you do want to make sure you hit up as many of the rooms as you can because there could be weapons or power-ups hidden there. Down picks up your weapon, Y shoots, B jumps, and weirdly enough, A does nothing. Select is your tag in and out button. I'm going to use the wrestling reference here. Basically, that'll change characters. However, changing characters does not mean they have their own health meter, which should be how it is. One health meter for both, 5 lives for each one. Once one of them runs out of lives, the game is over for both. Now, that's not always a good thing in games like this. If you have two characters, you want each one having their own lives. Now, I'm going to switch to Butt-Head here, and I'm going to let him have these. So now Beavis and Butt-Head have their own weapons. If you see power-ups, pick them up because your health meter is gonna run down pretty darn fast. But at least this time we have weapons. And there are refills for these, but they're inside the rooms, which you're gonna have to figure out which room to go in and get them. I'm just sitting here rocking while I'm playing here. I love this music. Since we got weaponry. Sorry, Bobby Hill. Wait a minute, that gave us more. So I guess Beavis will be the one doing the shooting. What's this guy get to attack before, but I can't hit him? Seems a little stupid. So yeah, this game, like every other game out there, has its ups, it has its downs. Now, which one is the shoot? Okay, Beavis is. Okay. Now I'll show you where the punching glove is once we get to it. Like I said, we're not far from it. It's in the cafeteria, by the way. Speaking of which, I'm kind of... Anyway. Don't waste your shots. You're gonna need them when you see a bald guy in a suit with glasses on, which I do believe this is actually the principal, but when he comes up, you're gonna want to start shooting at him as much as you can. Thank goodness we can get some more weapons, though. Now, Butt-Head, I'm gonna save his. I'm gonna let Beavis refill. Do you get to keep your weapons if you die? Yes, I believe you do. I've had a couple of practice runs today, and that's actually what happened with me, so... Now let's talk about the music. It fits. It's very rockish. The art style... It feels like I'm watching an episode of the show, when I have a controller in my hand, I know I'm playing, but it feels like an episode of the show. And that's what you want in a game based on a TV show. So really, a lot to like about this game, and not really enough to hate. I mean, from the first level alone here. Butt-Head, stop mooning me. That's not very nice. Now get away from the darn door. We are now... Oh, look, Bobby Hill has something to help us. Because he does look like Bobby Hill, I'm not gonna lie. Wonder if we get across this guy and shoot Bobby Hill again, if we actually do get word. Yeah, we do. Alright, Beavis can have it then. So they both have an even number of those shots. They both can take down the principal once we get there. I love how they groan whenever you hit them. The sounds even fit the show, which is, again, that's kind of the way you want it. I like the animations. They both stick their tongues out. And I just lost another life there. But, as I said, we don't lose our items. So, I believe we can try to get by this. Who didn't have weaponry before? Wait, we do lose our items. Okay, so that's a downfall of the game. I don't think I got far enough to where it saved the weapons because we're back in the beginning now, so... I believe, I'm just guessing it, the cafeteria might be the checkpoint. Beavis has all the shot. I wasn't even trying to aim for him. I know down one of these hallways, you can actually turn down one of these hallways. I can't remember which one. Not that one. There's 3 of them, so we know which one it is now if we can get that far. Just scroll already, screen. That's another thing. You get to the edge of the screen, it should auto-scroll right then and there. This one does not. Get out of my way, dingus. Now these rooms can contain power-ups. They, as we saw earlier, they can contain more weapons. Beavis is hogging all the weapons. Sounds about right. I'm actually gonna tag in Butt-Head here once we get back to Bobby Hill again. We'll drop something for Butt-Head to take on. And let's get out of this room. Now the best way to play this is if you're playing with somebody. Yeah, this is a 2-player Beavis and Butt-Head game. So if you can find somebody to play with, I think you're going to do better than I am doing just one person here. To be fair, I'm not doing that bad. But let's see just how well we actually do. I believe that might have been the hallway you can turn down. So let me give my final verdict on this game. And the final verdict is this is actually a pretty good game. It's not bad at all. Is it the worst game? Absolutely not. Not on the Super Nintendo, not on anything it's on. Very underrated game, I think, that everyone should give a shot to. Butt-Head is just over picking his nose. Sounds about right. Everything fits the style of the show. Everybody else wanting Beavis and Butt-Head gone fits the show. The music fits, everything fits. I think this is one of the better licensed games, actually. And then, you know what? I think we've talked enough about it. So for now, my final verdict is this game ain't bad. Ladies and gentlemen, for today, the Mutiny is off. Goodbye, everybody.